legendary composer Danny Elfman. It's such an honor to be here with you.
Thank you. I couldn't be more pleased.
How does it feel to see all these fans, some of them in costume, just thrilled to hear your work tonight?
I'm really excited. Since the first concert in London 2 years ago, it's been my dream to take it to New York.
Yeah.
And finally, I get to do it. It took a little while, but here we are, and I couldn't be more pleased.
So when you and Tim Burton sit down to work on a new film, how does the creative process start?
Honestly, it's so simple. I mean, it just starts with him showing me the movie. He doesn't ever say too much about it. And I come up with a bunch of ideas, and then I sit and I just play them for him, and I try to get inside his head, although that's not an easy thing to do in Tim.
Yeah.
But I've managed to kind of get in there a few times.
And when you're playing around with stuff, what instruments are you using to create kind of a sample?
It's different with every score. You know, it depends on like what I hear. It just sometimes I hear like strings, sometimes choir, sometimes a brassy part. It's just different for every score.
Yeah. So let's take a look back over your work. When you were working on The Nightmare Before Christmas, can you talk to me about your vision for the score for that film?
Well, that's the most unusual I ever had because, you know, normally a composer's on for about 3 months. And here's a thing where I was on for 2.5 years. And I'd never been involved with the project from the very beginning. So it was kind of crazy because neither Tim nor I knew how to start creating a musical. And there was no script even when we started. So he would just literally bring me drawings and tell me the story. I said, just tell me the story like you're telling it to a kid. And I would start hearing the songs in my head. And we did it really quickly and simply. It was a long project, but the writing the 10 songs was just like so kind of seamless and smooth. He would just tell me story, and he showed me, you know, naturally it helped that he had great drawings of everything to see.
Yeah, and we're going to be seeing some of those tonight. So with Nightmare Before Christmas, did you come on first as the composer or first as the voice of Jack?
Well, no, first as the songwriter.
Okay.
So because before, way before there was a score, there had to be the songs for them to then figure out how to put it all together, and that's what they started animating to. So the first thing was a songwriter. Then in the process of doing demos for the songs and singing all the parts, because in the beginning I sang demos with me singing every part but Sally. I was singing all the voices, and I finally reached a point where I was like, Tim, I gotta sing Jack Skellington or I'm gonna die. And he's like, yeah, don't worry, you got it. So there was just that point where I felt so attached to that character that I couldn't bear the thought of like having somebody else sing it. So fortunately, Tim agreed.
And you're singing as Jack as well in the concert series.
I will.
How often do you perform nowadays?
Well, we've been taking this show all around the world. Tonight's my 20th performance, and so it's just been something I never could have anticipated. First off, I never thought I'd ever sing one of these songs live, because I never did. Even when I recorded them, I was in the studio, and it's a very different thing.
Right.
And so it was like the idea that I'm traveling around the world singing these songs. I mean, if you'd even asked me 4 or 5 years ago if I could have imagined that, I would have said, not even a remote possibility. And here I am.
We're going to be hearing songs from Beetlejuice, from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. When you look at what your fans get excited about from your body of work, do their favorite choices surprise you at all, or do you kind of agree with them?
No, I mean, it's always, people have different favorites, and I'm always real curious about that. I mean, there are certain things which tend to always get, like, you know, Batman will tend to always get like a big response, but beyond that, it's different for everybody. So,
can you talk a little bit about the inspiration for the score for Batman?
You know, Tim flew me under the set of Gotham City, the set in London, and they shot about half the movie, and I started getting ideas, and it all slammed me on an airplane on the way home. It was a 747. And I was like freaking out because I was trying to get all my ideas down as best I could, because I knew that when we landed, they'd play a piece of music and it was going to erase everything in my mind.
Right.
And they did. They landed and they put on Hey Jude or whatever it is they played, and it was it.
Just washes away.
Yeah, it was gone. All it takes is one Beatles song, and it's like everything's back to zero. So fortunately, I made enough notes when I got home, panicking, going, oh my God, I hope this makes sense. And it did, and I was able to hold on to my idea. But it always hits me at the worst time. On a plane, driving,
Yeah. Finally, last thing, what's in your iPod these days? Who do you like?
My iPod is so crazy. It's just like, it's a weird combination of like, I still listen to a lot of 1930s jazz, like Duke Ellington and Cab Calloway and Django Reinhardt. But then I listen to a lot of Radiohead, and when I'm trying to relax myself, Radiohead is still my go-to. At the end of the night, I want to listen to some Radiohead, or maybe Cat Power, or...
I love Cat Power.
Yeah,
Awesome.
bands that kind of like take me down a notch, because I end my evening around 2 in the morning, all wired, working, and I need to get my brain down. So I'm always looking for something that'll like take me down a few notches.